Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this video is going to be all about my leg day. We're going to go through exercises for your quads, glutes, hamstrings, calves, and it's only going to be once a week you need to do this. So my first exercise, high bar squat, 4 sets, about 3 minutes, 30 seconds between each set. I listed the rep ranges for you. You're going to want to stop 1 rep short before failure on every set, and then you're going to reduce the weight to stay in those rep ranges. At the top of each rep, you're going to inhale, get set, brace your core, go into the next rep. And if you're an advanced lifter, you can do rest pause on that last set. Most people know to get their lower body, their hips, everything else loose to get ready for a squat. But I like to also focus on getting my upper body ready. So you can see here, I'm stretching out my shoulders. I like to be nice and mobile when I get under the bar. It just helps with where I have my hands placed and getting a more upright back angle. So again, this is going to be a high bar squat, not a low bar squat. Another tip is once you've got yourself set under the bar, you want to be pulling your lats into your spine. Same thing with your delts, and you want to be pulling the bar down and across your traps. Point your elbows down to the floor. You don't want your elbows pointing back too far or that's going to hunch you over. Keep your chest popped up. So I do 4 sets of these, and I just gave you an example of what my third set looked like. So this was 385 pounds for 12 reps. I like to keep my neck neutral, so I'm basically looking ahead of me. If you want to pick a spot a little bit above where you're looking, that can be helpful. Move through a range of motion that you're comfortable with. The lower you get, the more you're going to get your glutes into the motion too. So this is just another set of mine, so set 4. This is kind of like a burnout set. So this is going to be the lightest weight, 315 for 17 reps. Now again, if you're an advanced lifter, you can do a rest pause on this, which means once you're exhausted, you'll stop for about 10 seconds, 5-10 seconds before you hit another rep. And you can keep going with that pattern until your legs are crushed. I did not do that for this set. But you can see with a high bar, your back angle is going to be mostly upright. I have my elbows pointed mostly down to the floor. I'm pulling the bar down across my traps. I'm only taking a slight pause at the top to catch my breath, bracing my core before I go back down. And you want to keep it moving, because the goal here again is going to be muscle mass, hypertrophy. So you want time under tension, right? And that's why I have these higher rep ranges. They're going to keep your muscles under load for a longer period. And I tend not to go to failure. That last rep, there's not a lot to be gained from that. And if you're not very tight with your form, you're putting yourself at risk of injury. All right, the second exercise is going to be alternating dumbbell lunges. There's going to be 4 sets, 2 minutes, 30 seconds between each set, 15 to 20 reps on all sets. Again, stop 1 rep before you fail. I like to reverse pyramid with this, so I reduce the weight by 5, sometimes 10 pounds between each set so I can stay in that rep range. If you're an advanced lifter, again, you can do rest pause on that 4th set. For most people, though, you're going to be fine without the rest pause. Now, it's important here to have a solid core when you're doing this. Compound lifts are awesome because they have carryover to most exercises. So you're almost bracing your core like you would for a squat when you're doing these lunges, right? Like you're going to take a punch in your stomach and just holding your abs tight. So you can see I'm very upright for this. I'm stepping pretty far forward, coming back, and then switching to the next leg. Now this is wonderful. You're going to feel a really deep stretch in your legs and especially your quads. It's a good follow-up to squats to help hit those thigh muscles. And don't go too heavy with the weight on this, guys. High reps are fine for the lunges, okay? You're still gonna get good growth with that. A lot of people think you need really heavy weight when you do lunges. You do not. Next up, we have glute bridges with a dumbbell. I like dumbbells because they give you that nice space. You know what I'm talking about. So we're going to do 3 sets, 90 seconds between each set. Rep range of 15 to 20 for all your sets. Stop 1 rep before failure. That lets you get to your next set and feel a little bit more rested versus if you went to failure. Again, if you need to, you can reduce the weight to stay in the rep range, although you don't have to. And if you're an advanced lifter, that last one, after you've done all the reps you can, just take yourself a break, 30 seconds or so, and you can do another set. All right, so here we go. When you raise your hips, you're gonna be squeezing your glutes really hard, okay? You're almost squeezing your glutes. Picture them inwards, right? To lift your hips. And you wanna control the descent, okay? See, when I'm going down, I'm not just letting my butt drop. Again, time under tension is really important when it comes to developing muscle. So when we're looking to kind of build up our glute, develop our glute muscles, having this higher rep range as well as a slower tempo is really gonna give a lot of time under tension. It's gonna help with muscle growth. Another thing, guys, I like about this is it has great carryover for a bench press. So when I get set up and I'm pressing my heavy weight, I'm thinking about this exercise when I'm doing leg drive. And it also gives you the stamina you're gonna need to maintain, a tight flex glutes to give that good leg drive during a bench press. Fourth exercise, Romanian deadlifts. These are a beast. So you're gonna do 3 sets, 90 seconds between each set. Reps are gonna stay around 10 to 15. You can go a little heavier if you feel like you got really good form, go for it. I like to stop 1 rep before I fail on every set and reverse pyramid if you need to stay in that rep range. So drop 10 or so pounds each set. Guys, this exercise has carryover to a lot of other lifts that you do. You're kind of getting that hip hinge, you're working on that as you raise back up. For me, when I bring the weight out of the rack, I like to have it elevated. I don't like to start from the floor. You can, but I don't like to. And then I picture the top of a deadlift when I unrack it and get ready. And then from that top of the deadlift position, I'm slowly lowering it, down the front of my body, getting a nice stretch in my hamstrings. You definitely want to feel tight behind, in your hamstring area. And then coming back, and to come back to the top, I'm squeezing my glutes hard, which again is something that last exercise, the glute bridge, will help you do. And that's partly why I put that before this exercise, because it's gonna help build you that mind-muscle connection to get the most out of your Romanian deadlift. All right, guys, final exercise is gonna be standing calf raises with a drop set. These burn like fire. So you're gonna do 5 sets, 90 seconds rest between, rep range of between 15 to 20 in all sets. Stop about 1 rep short on every set. Reduce the weight set to set just by 5 pounds or so. If you're advanced, you can do a 6 set, and what I would recommend for that is after set 5, just put the weight down, stop for 30 seconds, take your rest, and then jump right to another set where you don't use weight, and you're just gonna rep to failure. So in your gym, you may have access to other calf training machines. You might use a leg press to do the straight leg calf raises. That's fine. For me, I'm training at my home gym. I really like the stretch and the contraction I get just by putting my foot on the edge of the bench I use. You can duplicate this with something like, a step, or being on the end of a staircase, like a step there. And basically, you want to contract hard at the top, and then you want to feel the stretch really good at the bottom, okay? And you can see I take a brief pause, almost a second at the top, and I'm up on my toes, all right? So, I'm sure if you've ever seen like ballerinas, they have awesome awesome calves, because they do a lot of positions up on their toes, and that takes a lot of strength, and it will develop your calves. So for this, I find you do not need a lot of weight. Your calves get used all the time, right? So again, a lot of time under tension is going to help you develop those calf muscles. So in every set, you're going to see I'll drop the dumbbell after I've hit each leg, get back up there, and then I'm going to just rep to failure. This burns like fire. I'm not kidding. If you put everything into this, feeling the stretch, feeling the contraction, you're definitely going to need a couple minutes to kind of shake out your calves afterwards, because it's going to hurt. And I'm just showing you one other quick angle so you can see what this exercise looks like. Pay attention to the range of motion that I use. Again, I like to, as much as possible, go through a full range. So the bottom, I'm stretching very far down. I've got my heel close to the ground. And the top, I'm up on my toes. So, I'm really getting a full range with a good contraction at the top and a good stretch at the bottom. You don't want to bounce on these. I see that happening where people will load up machines with a lot of weight, and then they bounce. Well, guess what? That bounce is not doing what you need it to get hypertrophy, to get growth in the calves. Focus more so on slowing down your reps, full ROM, and you're gonna definitely get some good calf growth. And if you want to do 2 legs at a time on a machine, that's just as good. But sometimes you will get a little bit more mind-muscle connection if you focus on just doing each leg one at a time. And so for me personally, after years of doing both legs, I kind of found that I prefer doing just one leg at a time. I get a little bit of a deeper burn that way. And I've also noticed, I don't have big calves, obviously, but I've added a little bit of size to them just by that little change. That's my son Cameron, wants to say hi to everyone. And there's that drop set. So this should burn like fire. Once you get into about 5 to 10 reps on this, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to gut it out, but that's where you're going to find that your stubborn calves will grow, right? So calf training is not fun, I don't think. It should be painful if you really want to try and build some size. All right, y'all. Well, like the video. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe. If you want to see more lifting videos, I'm going to give tips on different exercises, things like the squat. I'm going to get into some different supplements I really like soon. And I have my back training day coming up real soon as well. Also, working towards that 500 bench press, so things are still feeling good, and should have some updates soon. All right, have an awesome week.